Amukira ngeithi mwiroreri wa Kameme TV haria hothe uranyamukirori miaraho ya umuthi cihandite wega thaa 7 cia miaraho ni mahinda mangi turanyitanira nawe thiini wa mohoro gitao tumenye maria marathie na mbere magikunukaga ituritiganite cia bururi. Mwihoko wakwa o muthenya waku ni uria gariura wega nie njitagwo Njoroge wa Kimani. Mwatheri na njira ciiko ni wagaki wa Muthoni. Na tukiambiria ni ati muikariri giti wa kamiti ya urimi bunge-ini ya bururi ariwe mubunge wa tigania ya Ithwiro John Mutunga ni oritie mubunge wa Githunguri Gathoni wa Mucomba atige kuhenia muingi ciegie marihi maria arimi a macani matanyitwo gukorwo makirengwo. Mutunga akiuga watho uria utanyitwo gutemanio bunge-ini ya bururi wigi urimi wa macani hatiri handu wendekithitie arimi marengagwo ciringi 3.8 na ndururu 5 o he kilo ya macani to uria gukoretwo gukirwo. Akiuga no mang'otore 45 megukorwo makirengwo o hari kilo ya macani. Na araragia hindi ya mucemanio wa nyiti itemi ruhonge-ini rwa urimi wa macani kaunti-ini ya Meru riria arimi maraugire mbeca iria marengagwo ni ciagiriirwo kunyihio kuona ni marakuithio murigo munene.
Na mheshimiwa umenyiba tu bangentu ke coffee.
Tumilikuwa na mambo kuhusu ile bill amendment ya Tea Act ya 2020 ambayo nayo inaendelea kuwa amended in the amendment ya 2023 na wamekuja tumeongea yale mambo tulikuwa nayo ambayo tulikuwa tunaona kama yanawasafinya mkulima, wametusikiza na yale mengine yote tumerekebishana, tumeelewa saindi, sababu hawa ndio waheshimiwa ambao wanatengeneza sheria katika bunge. Wamekuja wametueleza na sisi tumewaeleza yale ambayo tumewapatia pendekezo zetu wamechukua, na tunaambia wakulima sasa we are in safe hands, ama tuko kwa mikono mizuri. Daktari wetu hapa Mutunga MP ambaye ni chairman wa agriculture katika bunge ametuhakikishia, ametusikia pamoja na wabunge, na kwa hivyo mambo yetu yataendelea kuwa sawa.
Tumeongea maneno yote ambaye walikuwa wanataka kusikia, na tukiwa na chairman wa committee ya agriculture huko parliament tumepata majibu, na vile vile ile inataka tupeleke huko kwa parliament tutafanya hivyo hivyo. Sisi tunaheshimu wakulima, waliwachagua twende tuwa represent, na nataka kuhakikisha sisi tutafanya kazi lolote paka mkulima akae vizuri.
They were all not factual. They were not backed on any existing law or any proposed law in the National Assembly or in Senate. Because the Senate bill that is being put in as proposing 3 shillings and 85 cents per kilogram of tea to the farmer is erroneous, it is wrong, it is not there. If you calculate the cost, should we settle at the proposed level of levy, if we take what is already proposed, it would go amount to 86 cents. So, and this is what we've refused as the committee. The committee has made proposals which will come through the House, and the proposals will definitely not exceed 86 cents. Besides that, we have discussed many other issues concerning some definition of tea factory limited, and we've also discussed the issue of direct settlement system, and we've also discussed another issue concerning basically the management of the tea industry, and we have agreed and given the facts as they are.
Na tukihugukira ripoti ingi ni ati ngwataniro ya aruti wira ya kotu ni uritie bunge gutigirira ati ihoto cia aruti wira kambuni ya Safaricom ni ciathingatwo na njira ciothe riri mutaratara wa kwendia gicunje gia kambuni iyo unathie na mbere. Munini wa mwandiki munene wa kotu ugitie ati kungiaga gukorwo na utheri wigi uria aruti wira a kambuni ino mekurumbuiyo thuguri ino itanatirihwo, aingi ao no mekore makiurwo ni mieke yao ya mawira. Ritana riri riheani kĩrĩkanĩro gĩikaro-inĩ gĩa kuoya mawoni ma mũingĩ megiĩ kana thirikari nĩ ĩbatiĩ kwendia gĩcunjĩ kĩa 15 harĩ igana gĩa shares ciayo. Ihinda-inĩ o rĩu mũmbunge wa Kĩharũ Ndĩndĩ Nyoro nĩwe ũraheana mawoni make. Reke tũthikĩrĩrie wendia wa shares cia Safaricom wagĩrĩire gũtabanio na njĩra ĩhana atĩa.
Next 25 years. And I'd want all of us to add 25 years to the age that we already have. And we commit that we can continue answering these questions. That we committed Kenya to a loss of 100 billion. That we are willing to answer that question until, if you are 40, you are 65. And what is the basis of even this condition precedent? It is just absurd, Chair. And this must stop. And some of these conversations that were done, that we take this and this transaction so light that we were doing phone calls. Phone calls where Kenya is losing 100 billion shillings. That make this letter to the, when the transaction happened, Chair, it was a hurry because I thought this is the only person who can bail us out because we are nearing election, we need money. So that issue then,
yeah, point of attention.
Yes, Mheshimiwa Ruto, what is your point of order?
I would wish Mheshimiwa to, when he said doing phone calls is something of material, probably you would substantiate so that I keep following. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Ndindi.
Thank you very much, Chair.
I think just for
at the right time.
No, I think at the right time, but for now, I think it's best you just withdraw that phone call so that we just make progress on the matter that we're here for.
I can't withdraw, Chair, even if I'm to end my discussion here, because my presentation today, history will prove me right. I know, and I'll table at the right time.
But you see, you've mentioned it in this committee, and once something is mentioned on this committee and the member has the substantiation, if you cannot provide that at the moment, it's best, as you said, when you have that opportunity to then you can come up with the substantiation. But for now, I'll kindly and respectfully ask you so that you're doing a very important presentation. Let's know the Honorable Lady Nyoro.
Chairman, let me withdraw to postpone it to a later.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Go ahead, proceed.
Chairman, at mobile termination rates, what conditions precedent did we give to the buyers? Conditions precedent, and as I'm repeating, is this, Chair. You want to sweeten the deal. In the markets, we say sweetening the deal. So that, okay, I'm selling this cow, but I'm also selling with the calf. You try to sweeten. So, the condition precedent we gave is actually bigger than what we are selling. So, no one had through CA, one on licenses, 5 of them, over 100 billion shillings. Secondly, on this other side, Chair, we are here now pushing Kenyans into a corner through mobile termination rates. I know you'll do that homework. I'm almost finishing, Chair. Chairman, I'd want this committee to investigate further because the buyer we are having is not beyond reproach. We are dealing with the reproach, the market, and no one would have an issue. Here dealing with a buyer who has already proven to the Kenyan people that they cannot be, and especially when Safaricom share was being listed, I was working for a stockbroker when I was in university. And therefore I have the details of that listing. Chairman, there was a company called which owned 5% of Safaricom by the time of listing. Previously, they owned more. If you look at the listing memoranda of Safaricom, this was how the shares were allocated. 35% was to be listed, 35% was 40% in the market, which we all own. Now, Chairman, in the current memoranda, which was reading bias. The innocent, let me rephrase, I'm on record, I am correct. Of listing, 35% was GOK. 35% for bias is 70%. 5% was a company called Vehicle of Patronage. The amount that was listed in the NSC is 25%, not the statement I had said before. We listed 25% in the market. All of us in this memoranda, it has 35%, but have a bias already bought Mobitelea. So it means then we are in cahoots with Mobitelea. Can get this company to be above board when it comes to this transaction? They already have shown their true colors in terms of integrity in so far as concerned. Second one, and this one members take it now just like the one for coordination precedent. Seriously. Chairman, we are about market price of Safaricom. There is something we are not being told. Safaricom share price has some of the company share having been suppressed in the last 1 year. When the buyers knew there would be this, they did something. They immobilized their shares, 16 billion shares. They immobilized their shares for the first time since the listing. Do you think that immobilize the shares were in certificate form, just like many other other governments? They are not in the market. They are
Mwirori riboti iyo ni ukumiamukira na njira ndaya thiini wa mohoro maitu maria mekurumirira na ucio ni mubunge wa Kiharu Mheshimiwa Ndindi Nyoro agikiheana muoni wake wigie maundu maria makuruhaine na uhoro wigie wendia wa shares cia kambuni ya Safaricom. Itua riria thirikari irenda gukorwo ikiendia gicunjĩ gĩa 15 harĩ igana kuri kambuni ya Vodafone, na ni uhoro kirehete thina muno, na ni aragithie na mbere na gwitarĩria history ya wendia wa shares cia Safaricom kuma wendia kambuni ya Safaricom yambĩrĩirio, na ni akorwo akigweta ati harĩ kambuni yetagwo Mobitelea iria itamenyekire enenea kwirikanaga yari na 10%, no gwikinya mwaka wa 2008 endia shares cia kambuni ya Safaricom ciendekithagio thiini wa Nairobi Stock Exchange kana itagwo Nairobi Securities Exchange mari na 5%. Ni aragithie na mbere gukiuga already shares icio ni ciagurirwo ni kambuni iyo, na koguo ndingihokwo na agakorwo agwetwo ndu wa muthia hau akirikiriria ati kuri no hotekekanu thogora uria shares cia kambuni ya Safaricom cirendio kwa ihinda riri tiguo thogora uria ciagire gukorwo ikiuma. Arauga ni wikitwo kindu gitagwo suppression kana ni ukoretwo hinyiriirio ni tondu kuri na shares bilioni 16 ciambire kurugamio kuonjorithio thoko-ini ya Nairobi Securities Exchange hindi ria ndeto ino ya wendia wa shares yakorirwo ikiambiriria gukiariririo niguo ukithogora ndugakiambate ukinye 50 ona kana makiria yo. Ndeto yo tuguthie na mbere tukirumanagirira nayo ni kamiti ya bunge igie kigina undu umwe na kamiti ya bunge igie mathire iria iratabania giikaro giki gwetha njira iria yagirire. Thirikari irenda kwendia 15% ya shares ciayo cia kambuni ya Safaricom kwa muigana wa ciringi bilioni 204 undu uria Ndindi na nyitite miangi sector-ini itiganite makiria maundu-ini megie ukuria wa bururi marauga ni thogora wa igoto na Kenyans matigukorwo makiona value for money ya mbeca iria kana mbeca ici 204 billion ni nini muno kuringithanio na shares iria marede cia kambuni ya Safaricom. Tutigane na icio tuthie na mbere na mangi, na ni ati Aikari itura ria Karai Kikuyu county ya Kiambu riu maraikarana haho thutha wa matigari ma mwiri uri uroneka tari wa mundu kuhithukio mutaro-ini umwe wa mai mwena ucio. Aikari riu ni moritie thirikari ithuthurie na itacukie makinya ma naihenya guthurima marima mothe maria mari mwena ucio na demu itiganite gutigakorwo kuri na miri ingi makiria ihinda-ini riri gutari na mai maingi niguo gutigirira miri yo ni yakirutwo na ningi kuirigwo. Njao ya Kinuthia ni akinyite itura-ini riu na gutuhaririria riboti ino.
Itura-ini ria Karai gicigo mbunge gia Kikuyu muingi ugite uraikarana haha nene kurumirira kuonekana kwa matigari ma mahindi ma mundu uria gukinyeria riu takurikanite. Kuringana nao matigari macio maronirwo ni murithia ruria-ini rwa Karai na thutha ucio aramenyithia munini wa cifu wa itura riu.
Riu nie kurithia ndirarithagia mwanake ucio gwitwa ikwa aroka aranjira toka one uria ndona ndiroka turona ni mundu ndirahurira muthuri ungi hau aroka tura confirm ni mundu turahurira assistant chief oka riu tuona riu uhoro uyu urakiambiririe guthii uguo na mbere riu nginyanagia riu na hau tukinyire
nigukoretwo na ona ciana tau he mwana wiriga kugwa haria he na angi mararutirwo haria igana ona demu ino kuguo demu ici cienjirwo bado ni risk muno tondu andu ni marakorwo na ciana angi kwiikia kuguo ni cikwenda imenyeke imwe ithikwo itigarete area nene iramenyeka tondu guku no ngitonya uguo ndungihota gukira tondu wahota guthii gukira ukore irima ni rienjirwo na tiri kave kuguo no bado thirikari no ikwenda ikorwo ina still ikirora tondu tau ucio gwite hau no ukorwo athire gukira na hena irima nigu akigwa.
Na kuona mwena ucio ni kwenjetwo marima maingi o hamwe na demu niguo kugeria gutangikira thina wa mai, aikari maroria thirikari guthurima marima mothe na demu niguo gutigirira gutire na miri ingikorwo kuo.
Tariu utari muikari wa guku kwarahite ndungikira ukinye handu no ugukwira ku na tutikaraga turorete andu guku tondu nona guku tutige na andu riu ngiuka ati urenda gukira mwena uri ungi no ugukwira guku tondu mai marahaga kwina marima kwina mitaro yenjetwo no thirikari na matire matutukunikira riu uguo ni turorwo muno ni thirikari.
Riu ni tukwenda tukoe thirikari ike uchunguzi tondu kwina marima maingi muno menjetwo guku hindi ya campaign kuo no twende marima macio marorwo matigakorwo mena miri mingi akorwo andu maroragwo magoka magaikio kuu kuo no tuhoe thirikari yuke ike uchunguzi.
Ni giko gikiritwo mukonde ni kamanda wa borithi wa Kikuyu Joseph Ndege uria utariirie ati ni mambikite uthuthuria baranginyo niguo uhoro wa makumenyekana.
This investigation will require further analysis and the DCI has opined that they remove with the speed. They have taken the samples and they are now moving with them to their laboratory and conduct a further analysis. The intention of conducting further analysis is to establish the gender, specifically the gender of the person, assuming that it was a person, the apparent cause of his death, and eventually give us a feedback on the way forward. Of late, we have not received a report of a missing person, and therefore we do not have any correlating information about what we have found and the missing person's report.
Kuringana na Ndege mwiri ucio uronekana gukorwo uikarite mutaro-ini ucio kwa ihinda ritanyihiire miaka iri indi akihe aikari a mwena ucio mwihoko wa kugia na utheri wona uthuthuria warikirira.
This place has been devoid of human activity until of late following the receding of waters. This is the time now we are finding increased human activity, and therefore the findings came at the right time. That is when we have the human beings encroaching the area, doing various activity. And as such, literally the place is out of bounds in terms of human activity, so to speak, going by the presence of the water masses that are around.
Ndiria mokaga maigwo kwi mundu ukwiriire demu marutaga ucio na matirora kana kwina ungi na tio mokaga ringi matuma mundu makahaya mundu wa gwithambira kuguo ti thirikari irugamagira makariha mundu ucio. Riu no twende thirikari igwa he kindu yuke kosa demu ici thiururuke tondu tiui kana kwi mundu ungi uremeire ku thiini uguo no gutungihoya.
Gukinyiria riu gutire family ona imwe yumiritie mwena ucio igetha mwendwa wao guku no maabitha a ugaceru ni makuite matigari macio niguo gutabania uthuthuria makiria. Muingi wa itura riri urahoya maabitha utuirie gutabania uthuthuria wao narua na mituki niguo kumehereria hahwiria makoretwo magiikara nayo. Ngiguithiraniria maria marahanika kaunti-ini ya Kiambu, ritwa riakwa ni Njau ya Kinuthia.
Jau ya kinuthia na tukirora riboti ingĩ nĩ atĩ thirikari kũhĩtũkĩra ministry ya ũruti wa wĩra nĩ yanĩrĩire gũikia ngono andũ arĩa makuruhanĩtio na kambuni cia Google cia gwethera mũingĩ mawĩra nja wa bũrũri. Rĩanĩrĩra rĩrĩ nĩ rĩa Minister wa Labour Alfred Mutua na rĩũkĩte kũrũmĩrĩra mũngũrũrio ũrĩa ũkoretwo ũgĩtabanio nĩ ministry ĩno. Reke tũthikĩrĩrie marĩa megũthiaga na mbere hau kabere hĩndĩ ĩrĩa Minister Mutua hegũkoretwo akĩrekereria ndũmĩrĩri ĩno.
15 files have been completed and forwarded to the DPP, and they are waiting scrutiny and permission to charge. Others have already been charged, we'll come to it, but out of the investigation, 15 files have been given to the DPP. Question will arise, why out of 390, only 15? It is because investigation needs a follow-up of paperwork. The DCI has to go to court, apply for special permission to get bank statements, to get Safaricom M-Pesa statements. So there's a process that is undertaken. They have to do verification of documents. So it takes time before a case can be built that needs proper evidence that can stand the day in court. Therefore, that's you find that 6 months on the line, only 15 cases have been completed because of that judicial process that has been done. If you're accused, the DCI cannot just arrest you or go to a bank and get your records. They still have to file a case. The judge has to listen, give permission for access to your bank account details for investigation. So more of a forensic investigation. Now, out of the 390 cases, 106 involve travel agents. Travel agents, not just recruitment agents, but travel agents. Some of the individuals, and this is very important to note, some of the individuals whose names or companies have swindled Kenyans are not registered with the National Employment Agency, and some are not even registered with the Bureau of Business Registration. They are not known. Ni mtu tu aliamka leo akaform company yake inaitwa Twende Kazi Majuu Company Limited. The company is not registered anywhere in the country of Kenya, does not even have a bank account, has nothing, and they put fake posters and people give them money. And then people come to us and say, I was conned. These agencies zinatudanganya. Leo ni mtu tu aliamka tu, they are not even registered as a company, they are not even registered National Employment Agency, we don't know that person. And you ask the person, how did you pay? We gave cash to this person. We are going to Canada. I gave cash, 500,000 shillings. I met a lady, she was pregnant, she had been swindled 1.1 million shillings by a company that did not even exist in the books and the records of company registration. But she had willingly given 400, 500, 600, visa inatoka, 1.1 million shillings of her money to be taken to Canada. So it is important to know that there are scrupulous people out there taking advantage of our people. And that is where the government has been giving advisory after advisory on how to look for Kazi Majuu jobs in the proper way. Let me give you some notable cases. We have two cases whereby we have some cases pending in the small court claims, small claim court, and there are people who have decided to sue to get reimbursements back instead of just a criminal offense. Out of those, we've had two cases where Mr. Nachos Mwenda Mutua has been reimbursed by a Cyprian Mwanzia of a travel agency called International Ambitions Consultants. International Ambitions Consultants have been able to reimburse Mr. Mwenda Nachos Mwenda Mutua his money, and the case is closed. Mr. Boniface Maina Mugo has also been able to get their money back from Ms. Janet Wanjiko Mwangi, and the case is closed. We have several cases in court. We have a case against Brian Reeves Obare, for obtaining money by false pretense. There's a case against Pondi Collins of Zian Travels Agency, also in court. We have a case against David Mwiti Kanyanga as an individual. Alijifanya anapeleka watu majuu, hana hata kampuni, hana nini, amechukua pesa watu. We also have a case about against Obonyo Edwin Omondi, also an individual who has also been conning.
Reri ucio ni Minister wa Labour Alfred Mutua agitariria makinya maria matacukitio kumaenderia thirikari eranĩire nĩ gũkorwo ĩkĩhũra birigiceni ya kũhĩtana na tũrĩa nĩme tũrĩa tũkoretwo tũkĩhenia a Kenya nĩ mekũmethera mĩeke ya mawĩra mabũrũri-inĩ ma nanja no magacoka kũmaiya na kũmatiga makĩgirĩka. Riboti ĩyo gũtũnengereria mweke wa gũthũmũra o hanini ndũgathiĩ kũraya nĩ ndĩracokereria na mangĩ.
Kameme TV. Love carried them through time. And betrayal tearing their lives apart.